Evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Khan Global Studies. I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening. So, I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Yes. So, how is your preparation going on? Today is 15th of September. So, half of this month is also gone. It seems like we have just started September and 15 days are already gone. So, we have just like if you look at the time, it is passing by at such a fast pace. Now I have got around 6-7 months left for the exam. Good evening. So how is your preparation going on? How is your preparation going on? Good evening, Shrishti. Good evening, Isha. Good evening, Bharat. Good evening. Good evening, Abhishek. So how is your preparation going on, everyone? Not as expected. Why? Why it is not going as per your expected pace? Good evening, Prince and others. Some hours are affected due to some business in a day. Year is passing as month, yes. Year is passing as months, week as days, days as hours, right? So try to gear up your preparation. If you are having any specific doubt about anything, do let me know that, and then I will try my best to resolve that for you. Okay. So the topics which we are going to discuss today, the first topic is going about PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme. So this is one topic which we are going to see first. Second topic is about the backlog in judiciary. Second topic is there with respect to backlog in judiciary. Third topic is again about bamboo based ethanol plant, the first such ethanol plant which has been started in India. The fourth topic is about Supreme Court guidelines on DNA analysis, and the fifth topic is about vultures. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. But before we discuss that, we will solve some practice questions. Okay. So here we have the first question: how many of the following are correct with respect to application of nanotechnology? Development of wound healing pads, development of fertilizers with higher efficiency, increasing shelf life of food items, enhancing efficiency of solar panels. So what can be done with respect to the nanotechnology? Which of them can be the potential application of nanotechnology? B option, D option. Maybe D. Okay. Not maybe, it is D. See, development of wound healing pads. Last day we have seen red ivy plants. There we have seen that we have used nanofiber to make wound healing pads. So there was use of nanotechnology. Development of fertilizer with higher efficiency. We have the example of liquid nano urea. It has been quite much famous. Increasing shelf life of food items, that is also one of the method. In order to deter the microbes from going inside the food items, or even to prevent the loss of moisture, we are using nanotechnology. Enhancing efficiency of solar panels, we have example of graphene, we have example of quantum dots. Okay. So graphene, quantum dots, they can be used for enhancing the efficiency of solar panels. So all these options are correct. The answer here is option number D, that is all four. Okay. Coming to second question, which one of the following statement is correct? Border wing home guards are special forces under Ministry of Defense. It is present across all the states in border areas. Border wing home guards are at par with members of BSF in terms of payment and service condition. And the last option is D option, that is none. So what will be the answer here? Here also D option. Are you sure that here also we will have the B option? Sorry, D option. If we look at this one statement, first one is saying under Ministry of Defense. No, it is not under Ministry of Defense. There is involvement of a state government, plus at the same time we also have Ministry of Home Affairs. So Ministry of Home Affairs is the one which is having a special control with respect to border wing home guards. Then it is present across all states and border areas. You know that? No, it is sanctioned in 7 strength, and then we have only one in Rajasthan. It is at par with BSF in terms of payment and service condition. No. So answer here will be option number D, that is none. Consider the following: Zika, malaria, chikungunya, tuberculosis. How many of the above can be transmitted by the mosquitoes? How many of them can be transmitted by the mosquitoes? So how many of them can be transmitted by mosquitoes? Here we have the option of Zika, chikungunya, malaria and tuberculosis. So what will be the correct answer? B option, C option, A option. See, if we look at this, Zika yes, malaria yes, chikungunya yes, tuberculosis no. Tuberculosis is something which goes through the air. It is transmitted. It is a bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is transmitted via air. So here the mosquito is not involved. So hence the answer will be option number C, that is only 3. Here we have seen Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles. Here we have seen like this Aedes is there. Here also we have the Aedes. Okay. So answer will be option number C. Okay. So now this is the last week before the scholarship test. Your scholarship test is going to be conducted on 20th of September. This week, if you are there in these centers, you can register here for this scholarship test. You can see that there is 50% off on UPSC prelims test series for those who are in the top 100. And there is also this option of free online mentorship. Okay. So this is also available as part of our scholarship test. So those who are new here, those who were not aware about this, so you can enroll for this free All India scholarship test. It is going to be conducted on 20th September at these offline centers. Okay. Now, we are coming to this one topic. We are going to discuss this one topic, that is production linked incentive scheme. So as you can see, center reopens PLI scheme for white goods till October 14. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand two things here. What is white goods? Second thing, we have to also understand that what is this production linked incentive scheme. Okay. So first of all, tell me about this one thing. What are white goods? If we talk about white goods, what are they? What are the white goods? Any idea about this? What is white good? AC, LED, okay. Which do not contain semiconductors or chips. Large household appliances, you can say that, because now semiconductors are being used in many such things which are even considered as like white goods, because now we are having a smart white goods. Okay. So normally when we talk about this, there are two types of good. One is the white goods, like all these things, the household appliances which you see, the household appliances. Normally what you see that these are durable goods. These are durable goods. These are durable goods having a longer life period. They are durable goods with a longer life period. Now initially they were called as white goods because they were coming mostly in white color. Initially they were mostly in white color, so they were called as white goods. But now we see that the large appliances which are there, they are simply called as white goods. So here for this one particular thing, now the government has come with this one thing like extension of production linked incentive scheme. So this is also one thing. What is the PLI? Production linked incentive scheme. What is the production linked incentive scheme? Production linked incentive scheme. This is one such a scheme which has been extended to around 14 sectors in the last few years. Okay. If you look at this, it was first initiated. This is something which was initiated in 2020. It was initiated in 2020. What we see that through this scheme, the main part was to boost manufacturing. And how it was boosting manufacturing? By providing incentives. By providing incentives to manufacturers. Okay. So here it was to boost manufacturing. To boost manufacturing. And for this, it was providing incentives to manufacturers. It was providing this incentives to manufacturers. Okay. So this is one such a scheme. This is one such a scheme, production linked incentive scheme, which has been one of the very instrumental scheme. Okay. Now what we see that it has expanded to 14 sectors as of now. Okay. It has been extended to 14 sectors. It has been extended to 14 sectors. Extended to 14 sectors as of now. Okay. So initially it was started with a few sectors. Now it is from electronics to textiles to automobiles to food processing and many others. Okay. So electronics, then textile, food processing, automobiles, white goods. In a number of industries, we are having this production linked incentive scheme. There is also another thing, employment linked incentive scheme, export linked incentive scheme. Here it is production linked incentive schemes. Okay. Now, has this program been successful? What has been its achievement? Okay. So if we try to compare the achievement here, just to show you this one part. Okay. When we talk about this achievement of this scheme, it has got investment up to 1.76 lakh crore rupees. Okay. As of March 2025, this is as per the government data, that as per March 2025, it has led to investment worth 1.76 lakh crore rupees. There has been sale of 16.5 lakh crore of manufactured items. There is also a job creation, around 12 lakh jobs have also been created. So overall, if you evaluate this scheme, over the time, it has been one of the very important schemes of the government of India. It has started with a few sectors and then it has been expanded to many other sectors. Now, on the basis of this also, you will find that export linked incentive scheme is also there. Employment linked incentive scheme is also there. So this is one thing, that this is one of the way of promoting certain industries in India, and it is one thing which has been widely appreciated for this one. Okay. So that is one thing. What is production linked incentive scheme? What are white goods? Now the government has decided that it will be extended for certain more period of time. So that is one of the news which we can see here. So this is first part, production linked incentive scheme. Now, the second topic which we can see here is this pendency of cases. Design linked incentive scheme is also there. Design linked incentive scheme. Can you tell me which industry it will be related to? Design linked incentive scheme. There is, yes, of course, this design linked incentive scheme. Can you tell me which industry it is related to? Yes, correct. So it is related to the semiconductor industry in India. So now we have this one topic, the pendency of cases in Supreme Court. So what is the pendency here? How much cases are pending? How many cases are pending in Supreme Court? Cases in Supreme Court. As of now, what we see that there are 88,417 cases. This is pending in Supreme Court. This is something which is pending in Supreme Court. Out of this, 69,000 cases, 69,553 cases, they are civil case. They are civil cases. And around 18,864 cases, they are criminal cases. They are criminal cases. If we talk about Supreme Court as of now, right now Supreme Court, how many judges are there in Supreme Court? Can you tell me how many judges are there in Supreme Court? How design is related to semiconductors? See, in the case of semiconductors, the chips which are being manufactured, so there is designing of these chips. The designing of these chips enable them to perform a specific task. It enables them to perform a specific task. So that is why there is design linked incentive scheme. Now tell me here, how many cases, how many judges are there in case of Supreme Court? So here we see that yes, there are 34 judges in Supreme Court as of now. Now this one part. If we talk about 2025, like if we are talking about 2025, just this year, if we talk about the present year, 2025, if we talk about this one topic also, 2025, in 2025, as of the recent data, around 52,630 cases. These many cases, they have been filed in this year. They have been filed in this year, means these many new cases has been registered. Out of this, what we see that 46,309 cases, they have been disposed. They have been disposed. So this is near about 88% cases. Means these many cases have been settled. As of now, what we see that near around 52,000 cases, 52,630 cases have been filed in Supreme Court. Out of that, 46,000 cases have been disposed of in the Supreme Court in the year of 2025. You can see that per year we are having addition of some new cases, and this is leading to the backlog of cases getting built up in Supreme Court. So the question is this, that why there is so many cases pending in Supreme Court? What is the factors responsible for this? What are the factors responsible for these many cases in Supreme Court? In Supreme Court, it is not trial case. In Supreme Court, we are not having trial case where there can be like a problem with respect to this, what you can say, we are not having problem here with respect to police investigation. We are not having problem here with respect to police investigation. We see that there are also number of judges, like there is no vacancy. The total strength is 34. The actual strength is 34. Right now, the Supreme Court is working at full like strength. Supreme Court is having all the 34 judges. Everyone is there. Okay. So, despite this, why we are having pendency of cases? Why we are having pendency of cases in our Supreme Court? What is the reason here? Vacancy is not that much in Supreme Court. Right now, Supreme Court is working at full efficiency. All the 34 judges are there. Okay. Yes. One of the part is judge versus population ratio. One of the part is judge versus population ratio. Looking at the size of India, the mammoth size of India, and plus at the same time, the Constitution of India and so many other things, we see that this size of Supreme Court of India or the bench of Supreme Court of India may need to have more and more judges in order to make sure that we have more and more solution to the pendency of cases. Okay. Second, yes, again, correct part. The reforms, okay, slow reforms, and there is two part here. One is part is a very short tenure of CJI, a very short tenure for CJI. In 2025, there is going to be 3 CJI in India. There is going to be 3 Chief Justices of India just in 2025. In the year of 2025, there is going to be 3 Chief Justices of India. So they are having a very slow, very small tenure, and hence they are not able to bring any such substantive reform. So that is also one part. Third part, what we also see that yes, limited use of technology also. Limited use of technology also. The fourth portion, which we see that how many cases are getting accepted in Supreme Court. In various courts of the world, in various Supreme Courts of the world, the acceptance ratio of cases around 1 to 2%. The acceptance ratio of cases is just 1 to 2%. Like in US Supreme Court, the US Supreme Court, if 100 cases are being filed, there is a chance that only 1 or 2 of them are going to be entertained by the judiciary. In India, if 100 cases are being filed, near about 40% of them are accepted by the judiciary. Okay. So higher ratio of acceptance of cases. We have also this one thing, the PIL movement in India. the PIL movement in India. The PIL movement in India. Okay. So this is one thing. PIL movement in India. Now what we see that you may have seen that we are having two such judgment with respect to the dogs in India in the Supreme Court. In within just 1 or 2 weeks, we were having two different hearings with respect to dogs in India. Okay. That about the stray dogs, what should be done about them. So the number of cases which are being accepted by the Supreme Court in India is enormously high. Okay. And as a result of this, even after having a very high disposal rate, even after having this high disposal rate, this is going to be a challenge for the Supreme Court in order to reduce the backlog. Okay. So this is one part, and from time to time, what we see that there is also vacancies in the Supreme Court. From time to time, there are vacancies also in the Supreme Court. Right now, it is full strength, but at multiple stages, there has been times when there have been vacancy in the Supreme Court also. So all these factors are there which are responsible for pendency of cases in case of Supreme Court of India. So I hope this one part is clear. Supreme Court is expanding its role in other branches, and that will be one part. You can say judicial activism. So this all relates to the PIL. People are filing so many PIL in India, so it is going to be one challenge. So this is our second topic, the judicial backlog in case of India. Now, coming to this third portion, like tomorrow I will be asking you one more question. Like I am giving you one task here. I am giving you this one task here. What are the factors responsible behind huge pendency of cases at district level, suggest measures to address the same. So this is one question which I am giving up to. Search about this a little bit. Try to write the answer for this. What are the factors responsible behind huge pendency of cases at district level? So today I have told you about the Supreme Court. Now here we have this one thing at the district level, how many cases are pending? Yes. Okay. So try to answer this one question, and tomorrow we will discuss this one part. Okay. So can you write this answer? Everyone, can you write this answer? Okay. So now let's come to the third part. So India's first bamboo-based ethanol plant. Okay. So this is something like India has got this first bioethanol plant in Golaghat in Assam. Okay. So India's first bamboo-based ethanol plant. So this is one part which has been launched here in Golaghat, Assam. In a state PCS examination, you can get a question on it. Okay. In a state PSC examination, Like suppose UPPCS, right now I think UPPCS is only after a few days perhaps, but in other upcoming examinations, in the next upcoming 6 months examinations, there might be a question on this aspect. Okay. That India's first bamboo based ethanol plant is based in which city? So it is there in Assam, in Golaghat district. Okay. So now we see that we have got this one such bamboo based ethanol plant in case of Assam. So this is one part. Now when we are talking about ethanol, how this is getting produced? When we talk about ethanol, we are having any crop. This crop undergoes a process called as fermentation. From fermentation, we also do the purification. From here we get the ethanol. This ethanol is blended, means it is mixed with petrol. Then we are having it at the petrol stations. There is E10, it means 10% ethanol blending. 10% ethanol blending. If we are writing E20, it means 20% ethanol blending. So recently India has announced this. That we have completed 20% ethanol blending in case of India. That we have got 20% ethanol blending in case of India. Okay. So this is one part which we know. Okay. So 28th September. I thought that in that it may not come, but later exams it may be asked. Any exam which is going to be conducted after 2 months, you might get a question on this ethanol, bamboo based ethanol plants. Okay. And especially if you are for Assam PCS, so there you can get this question. So here if we look at this, this is the process of ethanol manufacturing. Now we have different generations. We are having different generations of ethanol. Okay. We are having different generations of ethanol. The first generation is here, which is coming from edible crops. The first generation is there, which is coming from edible crops like sugar cane, wheat, corn. This is one part which is called as edible biomass. From here we are having this ethanol based ethanol formation or ethanol from here. The second generation will be from non-edible. So tell me about this. Bamboo based ethanol. Tell me about this. Bamboo based ethanol. Is it like edible or non-edible? Bamboo based ethanol, is it edible ethanol or non-edible? Is it edible ethanol or non-edible? Non-edible. You know, bamboo is something which is eatable. Okay. Largely we consider this bamboo as non-edible, but you know, bamboos are used to make pickles. Okay. You will find that this is something, bamboo, which is used to make pickles also. If you are having dishes from Nagaland or even portions of Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, you will find that bamboo is one of the very important component of their food items. Bamboo shoot, the roots of bamboo or the shoots of bamboo, the new shoots of bamboo, they are being used for like they are being used for this food items. Like when you are having making of any dish, so you are adding like what we say, you are adding green chilies in there, you are adding mushrooms in there, you are adding dhania patta in there, you are adding many things, shimla mirch also there. So in same manner, in case of various northeastern states of India, especially Nagaland, Meghalaya and other regions, bamboo is used as a very important food ingredient. Okay. It is not a staple crop. It is not a staple crop. It is not such like regularly like rice or paddy or anything. But bamboo is one thing which is edible item. There are pickles made up of bamboos. Like you have mango pickles, in same manner there is bamboo based pickles also. So let's see the third generation of ethanol. The third generation of ethanol is going to come from algae. It is going to come from algae. So here we have the microalgae and others which can be used for this. And fourth generation is going to come from the genetically modified algae. It will come from genetically modified algae. So this is one process. This is one process where we are having the ethanol. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. So these are the generations of ethanol. Why we are going for ethanol? Okay, like why we are going for ethanol? Why we are going for ethanol? We have this one option, low pollution or lower pollution, lesser import of crude oil, lesser import of crude oil, saving forex reserve. We will be saving the forex reserve. We will also be having this more income to farmers. Okay. Trouble management. And many other factors. So these are the factors for which we are using ethanol blending in petrol. But there are multiple challenges because of this. There are multiple challenges because of this one ethanol. It is being said that impacts the engine, impact on engine. Then we also see that if we compare it with other things, okay, if we compare, like suppose 1 liter ethanol requires around like 2800 liters water. If we have to get 1 liter of ethanol, we have to use around 2800 liters of water. And even in the production process, there is a challenge. When the ethanol is being produced in the industries, there is a release of toxic chemicals in the soil and the water. So it is polluting also. When we are talking about the supply chain, it is quite limited. When we talk about this ethanol, around 80 to 85% ethanol in India is coming from sugarcane. Okay. So these are certain factors which inhibit or which hinders the adoption of ethanol as a sustainable fuel option. Many people are not regarding this as a sustainable fuel option. Of course, people have no option, because when you are going to the petrol pumps, you have no option. You have only option, that is you have to take the E20. Okay. So this is one thing, like why the ethanol is not so good in case of many such examples. Okay. Yes, consumer acceptance is also one of the issue. So this is one part about ethanol. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, Supreme Court guidelines on DNA. I think in one of the previous classes also we have discussed about this Supreme Court guidelines in the case of DNA usage, that how the DNA data is going to be used. In one of the previous classes also, I think we have discussed this. Okay. So here we are having this one case. Okay. Like we were having this one case. versus state of Tamil Nadu. Kattavalai Devakar versus the state of Tamil Nadu. So in this case, Supreme Court has issued certain guidelines with respect to the DNA application. Okay. So here, what is the guideline? Okay. The guideline is this. If we talk about the guidelines, what is the guidelines which have been given by the court? The first guideline which has been given is to prepare sample form of chain of custody register. Okay. So sample form of chain of custody. Like suppose that when the DNA data is being collected from a particular location, when the DNA data is being collected from a particular location, so who is collecting that data? Who is receiving that data? Okay. How the data is being stored? Where the data is being stored? Who is having access to data? Who has validated this collection? So all necessary documentation, has to be maintained. Court has said that if we have to use DNA as a evidence, it must be done in a proper manner. So you must have all the documents with respect to this, how it has been collected, where it has been stored, how many times it has been opened, who has access to this, who has accessed the report of DNA analysis. All these data have to be uploaded now. Okay. Then again, there is one thing. It has said that, like in the case of crimes like rape, murder, robbery, or other thing, it says that like it has to be done in an urgent basis. Okay. DNA collection and analysis on urgent basis. Second thing is DNA collection and this analysis on urgent basis. Okay. So this is another thing which has been said by the court, that it cannot be delaying this. So it has said that first of all, there must be a sample form of chain and custody. There must be DNA collection and analysis within a designated time frame. Even handling of it, like if you look at this, just to show you some guidelines, it has said that one of the guidelines is this, that collection has to be done with due care, swift and appropriate packaging, FIR number and date, section and statutes involved, details of investigating officer, police station, and the requisite serial number. It has to be documented. Means in short, you have to give each and every detail there. Each and every detail has to be mentioned on the DNA sample. The one which has been collected must contain all these details. Second part is the investigating officer, the one who is responsible for the transportation, okay, like of DNA evidence, okay, he must ensure that sample reaches within 48 hours of collection. So time limit has also been specified, that within 48 hours you have to make sure that the DNA sample reach the appropriate stage. The third important guideline, it says that if the samples are stored pending trial or appeal, no package shall be opened, altered, or resealed without authorization from trial court. Okay. So without the order of trial court, there cannot be any manipulation with the DNA sample. You cannot open it, you cannot close it, you cannot like analyze it, you cannot alter it. So there is going to be no use or no manipulation of the DNA sample until unless the trial court authorizes it to be. Okay. So without authorization of trial court, it cannot be done simply by the police officers. Okay. And the fourth guideline, it says that like From the time of collection to the logical end, that is conviction or acquittal of the accused, a chain of custody register must be maintained. Okay. So it is one part. Like suppose you have collected a DNA sample. There is a crime scene. Okay. Crime scene. Now there is a person X. He is accused here. He is accused here. From here you have collected data. Collected data. And finally, let's say after 10 years, this person has been acquitted. So during this time, how many hands this has exchanged with? How many people have taken this data? How many people have accessed this data? A record must be maintained. A chain of record must be maintained, that how this data has been used, who has used it, with which permission it has been used. So all the chain of custody must be maintained. Okay. So this is one part about the DNA sample. Now yes, there is one question. There is one question. What about privacy? Okay. The DNA samples are to be collected only from those people who are accused of a crime, not with anyone. Okay. It cannot be from anyone. Only if there is an accused person from the crime scene, it can be collected. But analysis of it cannot be done on any person. If analysis of that has to be done, it can be done only after authorization of the court. So that is what the court is also trying to do. That if there is any such DNA sample, how it is going to be used, how many times it will be opened or sealed or resealed, it is to be done on the basis of authorization from the court. So in that manner, the court is trying to protect the privacy of the individuals. So it is about the, on one hand, it is balancing the privacy. On other hand, it is making sure that the cases can be solved on the basis of DNA data. Nowadays, the problem is that even if DNA data is there, in movies and other thing, you may see this one thing, that on the basis of DNA data, the person have won the case or lost the case. In movies or other thing, it is easily shown that just on the basis of DNA data, the case is complete. But in reality, DNA data is just one of the evidence. But one evidence is not sufficient to win or lose the case. You have to prove beyond the reasonable doubt that the accused person is guilty of a crime. So just one evidence is not sufficient. Okay. So this is one part what Supreme Court has given guidelines with respect to DNA data. I hope that is clear now. So here we have this one thing about the vultures. So there are 9 different species of vultures which are present in India. Some of them are critically endangered, some of them are endangered, some of them are least threatened. But what we see that there was a time when we had hundreds of millions of vultures in India. Okay. There were hundreds, there were more than at least 40 to 50 million vultures in India in 1980s. There was a time when it was 40 million, means around 4 crore. Okay. So what we see that in 1980s, there were around 40 million vultures. And in 1990s, it came down. You know to what extent? It came down to around 2 million. So from around 40 millions, it has came down to 2 million. Means 95% vultures, 95% vultures died. So why did the vultures die? What was the factor responsible for the death of these vultures? there was a painkiller. There was a very famous painkiller. Even now this is being used, which is called as diclofenac. There is a painkiller which is called as diclofenac. If someone is having intense pain, even now if someone is having quite intense pain in humans, this diclofenac is being provided. This diclofenac, this painkiller, it was being used in cattle. This was something which was being used in cattle. So normally for cattle, there is not so harmful health. Sorry, there is no such harmful impact. But we see that vultures are like the waste managers, the scavengers. So on the death of cattle, vultures were eating them. And when vultures were eating them, what we used to see, the traces of diclofenac in cattle used to hurt the vultures. This diclofenac, it is something which is lethal for vultures. It is lethal for vultures. It is leading to renal failure, kidney failure in case of vultures. Okay. So here we see that it leads to the renal failure in case of vultures, and vultures died. So vultures were not consuming it directly. They were eating the cattle. The cattle may have been given this diclofenac, and due to that, what we see that the vultures were dying in India. In 2007, the government of India banned the use of diclofenac in cattle. So this has been banned, the diclofenac, banned for cattle. Banned for cattle since 2007. So in 2007, the government has banned it. But during this time of 10 to 15 years, around 95% of vultures in India, they have died. So this is one reason why they have died, and they are considered one of the most efficient scavengers. Why? They remove the dead materials, they remove the dead biomass, and they ensure that it doesn't become a breeding site for bacteria and viruses. Okay. So they try to make sure that it doesn't become a breeding site for bacteria and viruses. So we are having some of the vultures in India, like you can see, this is one white-backed vulture, which is critically endangered. Slender-billed vulture, which is also critically endangered. Long-billed vulture, which is also critically endangered. And red-headed vulture, which is also critically endangered. Okay. Now here you will find that there is Indian griffon vulture, which is still there, least concern. Okay. So this is one part, Indian griffon vulture, it is of least concern. There is Himalayan griffon also, cinereous vulture also, and bearded vulture also. So there is no such major threat to them. But for other vultures, like you can see here, these four vultures, they have become critically endangered, and Egyptian vulture has become endangered. Okay. So yes, so this is one part why vultures have died in India, and at the same time what has been banned. Yes, acylofenac and ketoprofen, these have also been banned. Ibuprofen is something which is allowed even now. Okay. So normally it has been banned for use in cattle. You may have seen that there is one thing called as vulture restaurants. Okay. So try to search about this. What is vulture restaurants in India? Tomorrow I will be asking about this. So tomorrow when we will meet, we will discuss more topics, and I will be asking you about this portion of this vulture restaurant. Okay. So read about this, and tomorrow I will be asking. So these were the topics for today, and I have given you a mains question also. Try to write the answer for that mains question. Tomorrow we will meet and then we will discuss the remaining portions. Okay. So yes, one is there in Maharashtra. There have been others also. So tell me about this, and tomorrow we will discuss remaining topics. So thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.